So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up, I'm on fire.
Hey everybody! So episode 15 of Teen Wolf Season 3 just aired and it was incredible. This episode had some really chilling parts as well as so many hilarious moments. There are just so many highlights to this episode that made it a masterpiece. It's definitely probably going to be one of my favorite episodes in this season of Teen Wolf. So much happened that I decided to just touch on each thing just a little bit. It's just sometimes I do these vlogs and they run really long because it goes so in depth and just time limitations, and I need to wind them down some every now and then just because I don't have enough time to do really long ones. So basically, this episode, I couldn't decide if it was more funny or more scary. It was like a pretty even bit of both. One of the highlights was the serial killer, William Barrow. He is insane. Let's talk about the crazy hospital scene in the beginning of the episode where he's got like flies or something in his stomach or whatever. He goes in to get the surgery to get some shrapnel or something out of his body, and that's not what was in him. He ends up breaking out of the hospital and killing one of the doctors. Basically throughout the whole episode, everybody is looking for this crazy dude, and he is apparently after werewolves. He's just a bucket full of crazy. So all the werewolves throughout the episode are trying to find him, and I don't know what they're really plan to do with them once they find him. But excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. That was part of the beginning of the episode. Another really cool part, we get some really, really funny scenes, and I may even not be able to touch on all of them because there's so many. We start off the episode with Scott and Stiles on the phone, and it's like Stiles is breaking into the locker room at school, and he's trying to get Scott there because apparently it's mischief night or something. It's like coach's birthday is the next day, and they play all these pranks for the coach's birthday. Apparently it's also Halloween season because we see in the hospital it says Happy Halloween. They don't really say if it's Halloween or not. But I really love the part where Stiles is like counting down, saying for Scott to get there, and Scott just shows up behind him with his red glowing eyes and scares the crap out of Stiles, and he's just like, I hate you. That was just one of the many hilarious moments in the episode. On a lighter note, we get to see more of Derek this episode and Peter, and apparently what was in that little item that they got at the end of the last episode are some of Talia Hale's claws. They basically set them up, and Peter's puts his wants his fingers sewn back on. They put Peter's fingers in there, and like the nails go in there. They're trying to get some kind of a connection with Talia. Derek wants to talk to her or something about something. So I don't know why the way they did it was why they did it. I'm still trying to figure this whole out. It's very mysterious everything Derek's up to. But after Peter does that, he puts his claws into Derek's neck, and they show Derek approaching like the Nematon, and his mother in wolf form comes up, and we don't really get to see much besides like her eyes glow red and blah blah blah. And we really don't know what Derek is trying to do and what's going on. I don't know if it has something to do with Peter, and I still don't know where Cora is. I mean, where is Cora? She hasn't been mentioned. And I hopefully they don't leave that unanswered, because that would suck. I don't like unanswered questions. Something that I really enjoyed was seeing a new side to the twins. We continue to see more about the twins, and it's really interesting, because they basically not beg exactly, but they tried to get accepted into Scott's pack, and they're all just like, Stiles, Isaac, and Scott are just like, we don't trust you, and it's just a whole mess. And Aiden and Ethan decide to go back to school, and it's just a really funny situation, because there's some funny parts where Ethan goes and finds Danny making out with another guy. Lydia says she's not going to hook up with Aiden again, and she does. It's just a very cute little flirtation. I as much as I want Lydia with Stiles, I can't get enough of her hilarious relationship with Aiden. It's really funny. I mean, I honestly think the really great friendship between Stiles and Lydia one day will build towards a really great relationship, because they're becoming so close. They're always together in episodes, and I love it. Basically, one of the things that was interesting was the twins refer to themselves as Omegas again, and we know Omegas are just like the lowest of the low, and they're like they're talking to each other, and they're like, yeah, our enemies are gonna kill us if we don't have like someone to protect us. So it's really interesting. These former big bad alphas are having to stoop. I mean, Scott's awesome, but I mean, it's kind of, if you think about it, you have to go and beg to become part of pack. So Lydia figures out that William Barrow is in the school, and because she keeps hearing this buzzing noise, and she figures it's a fly or something, and she somehow associates it with William Barrow and figures out that he's in the school. So all the werewolves kind of get together and start like searching the school. And I think the twins are just trying to prove themselves to Scott. And I mean, it's going to take a lot to prove themselves. But anyways, they don't find him. And then one of the things in the episode, I almost forgot it, but Stiles pulls the fire alarm to clear out the school or whatever, and he's just like sitting there, and he's like grinning, and Lydia's like staring at him, because Coach comes up and gives him one of those faces, one of those classic serious Coach faces. He's like, and it's just it's the funniest thing, and Stiles gets in so much trouble. Because they're basically trying to, I can't remember exactly what they were doing with clearing out the school. I think they were just trying to clear it out so they can search better for him. Scott, he gets invited to go to Kira's house and have dinner with her family, and that's a really cute scene, seeing more of Scott and Kira. He tries to eat sushi, and it really fails. He fails at that. And there's just a lot of really cute stuff between them. And I'm really interested to see more about Kira and her backstory, especially after the end of the episode. They're still trying to figure out what is going on with, like, why William Barrow's after werewolves and stuff. And just all this stuff. All this that's going on with Scott and Lydia and Stiles, and when all that stuff is going on that they're up to, we see Allison in her apartment, her at home or whatever, and we hear a zap and like a squeal, and it's Isaac. They've electrified the windows, and this is a really funny scene. I really like Isaac and Allison together. there's this whole like back and forth banter, like sarcastic flirtation between them. Like she goes on like saying, "Were you?" Because he tries to kiss her and she doesn't let him, and then they start like taking their clothes off, and I think they're about to actually give in and like kiss and stuff and like do stuff together, and then Allison's dad walks in, and this is probably one of my favorite moments of the episode. He brings her out of the room, and he just yells, "Another werewolf!" Because we know Mr. Argent does not want Allison with a werewolf. I mean, seriously, Mr. Argent, though, there's so much worse she could do. I mean, Scott would have been the better choice, but you didn't let her date him, and so now she's rebelling again. I mean, whatever. It's whatever. I mean, the werewolves are hot. I mean, I'd go for one of them too. Some of the really funny things that happen at dinner, I love all the parent and children relationships in Teen Wolf. There's always a really good dynamic between the parents and their kids, and it just meshes so well. Like Kira and her dad, it's just always such embarrassing moments for Kira. And one of the things that I really couldn't stop laughing about was how Scott didn't understand what to do with his sushi, and he like nearly drops the sushi, and Kira like catches it with the chopsticks, and then at one point he eats I think it's the wasabi, and he thinks it's guacamole, and he like has trouble breathing because, oh man, I don't like wasabi personally. Oh my gosh, this episode. When as all this is going on, I forgot to mention Stiles and Lydia are back at, I think they're at Stiles' place, and they're just hanging out and trying to figure out where William Barrow is and all this, and they just have a really cool heart to heart, and Lydia still just thinks she's crazy. A lot of times she thinks of herself as crazy, and she's really not. She's just, yeah. So as they're talking about everything and trying to figure out where he could be hiding out, they kind of just decide to go back to the school to keep searching for more clues. Well, when they go back to the school, I can't remember exactly. They go into like a science lab or something, and they find these chemicals that have been used. I think that's what it was. And they kind of put all the numbers, like the letters or whatever, together, and it forms a name, and it's Kira. And so I don't know if it was William was trying to leave a clue about it or what exactly. I'm assuming he kind of was. I'm not expecting someone to find it. But when Scott's leaving Kira's, he gets knocked over the head, and Kira gets abducted by William Barrow. And at the end of the episode, we see him about to like electrocute her. So we thought he was after the werewolves, and he's after Kira, who is obviously not a werewolf. At least, no, she's not a werewolf. She can't be a werewolf because the electricity stuff. But as he's about to like electrocute her, Scott arrives and tries to stop him. He gets electrocuted, and he can't get up in time. So William Barrow, he goes and shocks Kira or whatever, and it's like there's a ton of flashing, and then we see Kira absorbing it into her hands, and we're all like, that's badass. I really loved that. Another part that happened at the end of the episode was Isaac gets locked in Allison's room with those black shadowy figures with the mask. They see them fully formed or whatever, and they just start wailing on him, and Allison and Mr. Argent are trying to get in there or whatever. Something that I'm trying to figure out how it exactly played out, how Lydia really, how her banshee powers, I'm still trying to figure out how they work fully, because it's like it's like on an instinctual level. Lydia figures out that the buzzing is in fact electricity, and by screaming, they somehow figure out where Kira is. This episode was just so amazing, and I can't even come up with enough things to say about how great it was. I hope y'all enjoy this recap and review. Continue to watch and subscribe and like this video. Have a great night. Bye.